All right, let's get into just a quick detour on the Jets Twitter diehards. How did you guys pick the list? Okay, so Boy Green, that's cool, and NYJ Mike and Matt and all those guys, and there was a huge cast of people you ended up picking. How did you guys figure out the selection process? Was there this draft room meeting? You're like, well, obviously Boy Green's number one on our big board here. Who else are we moving and sliding around? Like, how did you guys come up with the list of people that ended up being on the documentary?
Yeah, it's like I think there's natural that there were fans that were disappointed that they weren't invited or weren't in it. There were actually fans that couldn't make the shoot. We kind of had to do the shoot over the course of a 2-day period to bring everybody into the facility, and some just naturally were either in other parts of the country or too far away or couldn't make it work with their schedule or things like that. So there were others that were could easily been a part of it just the same way you were. But I think. When we kind of went through it, I think the biggest thing is we wanted to be entertaining. I think
Right.
it's one thing like not everybody can carry a documentary. I certainly can. Like no one wants to watch me for 30 minutes talk about the Jets and things like that. So we really kind of went through and picked people that we thought would be highly entertaining for fans to watch, and I think, there's guys like Drew from Jersey that, ended up, not being able to be a part of it, that we were like, we obviously wanted him to be a part of it. So maybe there's
Sure.
a sequel coming, I don't know, like maybe we'll do a
Oh,
sequel, there's a bunch of people that could warrant being involved in that. I think the cool thing with the Jets Twitter diehards was that was kind of at the brink of the Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr. I remember talking to you guys
right.
about like, who do you want? And, there was a lot of debate. Some people wanted Carr, some people wanted Rodgers. Everyone was kind of a little bit scared to say, like, oh, are we going to go all in on Aaron Rodgers? And it's kind of cool to look back on that now and say, like, it did go through. The Jets, made a historical trade. But I think, like, that was the whole point of that documentary was to capitalize on the excitement of the Jets going after, a veteran quarterback and what that pursuit would be like through the eyes of, what I think is the best fan base on the planet, the Jets Nation. So, I think that project was one of the more unique ones we've ever done, and it was just kind of cool to connect with the fans on that level.